You are listening to Vessel of Light. I'm Sam Renfro, Reiki Master, Fascial Maneuvers Coach, and someone who believes the body is not separate from the spiritual path. It is the spiritual path. This show lives at the intersection of two worlds that have been kept apart for too long, the wisdom of the spirit and the intelligence of the body. Every episode, we ask not just how to open what's been closed, but why it closed in the first place. If this feels alive for you, the Fully Human Collective is a free community that I created where we go deeper on exactly this. You can find the link in the show notes. Now, take a deep breath and let's begin. Welcome back to Vessel of Light. I'm Sam Renfro and I am very happy to be here today. Today we're going to talk about reprogramming your body. And I've spoken a lot about this in the past, not so much lately, about how we can and should allow ourselves to reprogram our body through our fascia. Our fascia is essentially connected to, well, it's connected to everything, but it's really intertwined with the brain, the nervous system, all of these pathways that are essentially interpreting and sending information, right? And if you think about it, the body is kind of like the computer. The brain is kind of like the processing unit. So essentially this computer, this body has all of these patterns, these programs, these ways in which it is coded by our environment, our surroundings, our past experiences, the things that we've learned from. If you think about programming a computer, it's like this is our operating system. And we get to go and update that as much as we want to, and we should. So what I want to share today is how I've been doing this in my own life and updating some of the beliefs and some of the patterns that I've been holding. And I've really had this big reframe lately about to cleanse out all of this trauma out of my body, because I believe that the body holds everything, and I believe that we need to be able to release it in order to move forward. That said, there comes a time in everyone's life and their journey where they realize that they don't need to be constantly trying to identify what's wrong with them. And by doing that, you're recreating the patterns and the loops of, I am not enough and there's something wrong and I need to go and fix myself, which is the complete opposite of the creator, of the light, of the abundance that we want, right? So the thing that we're trying to overcome is now actually becoming the thing that is fueling the fire. And it's like perpetuating the situation in our lives. So what I want to offer you is a way to say, okay, yes, there is stuff that is creating the tension, the stuckness, the tight shoulders, all the things, the issues that you have in your body. It's creating all that. And at the same time, if there is, let's just say, not these major issues going on in your body, and you're looking for something a little bit different, you're looking to propel yourself forward. You're looking to say, okay, I know that there are things that are blocking me, but is it like deep-seated trauma? Or is it just a belief pattern that is no longer helpful? And so this is kind of the point that I've gotten into my life. And through me working with the fascia, with Reiki, with all of these things, exploring the body, through actually having lived various different ways in which I've released some of this energy from my body, it's now time to say, okay, what are the beliefs that are holding me back, essentially, that are starting to run my life in the background, the programs, the things that have been that way forever, right, for however many years. Can we go and update those? Can we go and reprogram? Can we go and by using our voice, our words, speaking directly to our body, creating a deeper relationship with our body, can we then say, actually, this is the way that I want to update. This is the way that I want to say, okay, this is how I'm going to live my life from this point forward. The way in which I've been doing this is through the fascial maneuvers. And when we're in these positions of, let's say, safety or vulnerability, or we're in this specific pattern that the body recognizes, the nervous system can drop, it can calm down. When we're in these positions, it creates a very ripe container for that program to be lifted off and something new to come in and rewrite the story. So while I've been in the fascial maneuvers, let's say in totally twisted, which if you're unfamiliar with this, it's like a standing fetal position where you're really twisted up. Everything is like in this very specific pattern that the body recognizes. All the organs are like kind of, you're forcing all the breath and the pressure into these organs. You're allowing everything to release. You're like signaling the stress is calming down, the inflammation is loosening, and you're really allowing the body to be fully relaxed. When you get into that space, then you can use your words to say, this is the belief that I want to rewrite. So for example, in my own life, I've been working with confidence and worthiness and actually creating my new reality, my future. And so when I'm in these specific maneuvers, I will say, I'm already whole, I'm already abundant, I'm already confident. Or something a little bit more specific, like my mantra lately is, my new reality is already created. And I reveal it through certainty and my actions. And this is a little bit more of a Kabbalistic mantra that I've been using to really put in that certainty, that full faith in the universe, that full trust, and say, no, I actually know that this is already a reality that's here. I just need to bring it in to the present moment and to my body. So there are various different ways in which you can use it. There's also a practice that I call the organ reset that I learned from my teachers from Human Garage. And you can go through each one of the different organs. And I think there's two ways to do this. As you're moving through the different organs, you can say, okay, I am now releasing, let's just say, the anger, the resentment, out of the liver, the gallbladder. So that's like one specific area where that kind of energy is generally held. And you can go in there, kind of dig into the fascia a little bit, and then affirm with your words, this is what I'm doing. And then once you get to a point where you've really released a lot out of your body, you're starting to unwind the tension, unwind the patterns, then you can actually flip to a more positive affirmation. So instead of, it's not a negative affirmation, but essentially it's like instead of releasing, you're saying, this is what I'm actually embodying. So I've started to shift the words in which I actually speak to my body in part of creating this relationship and saying, okay, this might be intellectually how I want things to go, but it's not actually going to go that way until my body feels it, until it lives it, and until it really actually starts to update its programs. I mean, just like I've been saying. So I use these affirmations in specific areas, like if I'm working with fear, instead of saying I'm releasing all of the fear from my body, I'm saying I no longer let fear make my decisions, or I no longer base my decisions on fear. So I'm kind of using it in, this is the direction that I'm going, instead of the direction I'm not going, if that makes sense. And it's really powerful. I mean, all of this may seem like kind of out there and kind of like, but really, like, why? Like affirmations. And I completely agree, or I did agree before I started trying it. Because when you actually feel it, when you feel a significant shift, whether it be your mind calming down or a sensation, a release of energy, when you actually feel it in your body, you're like, okay, whoa, there's something happening here. And then when you start to do this day after day, maybe even twice a day, in certain positions that you're in, you look out after a day, 3 days, a week, a month, 3 months, and then you look back and you're like, whoa, I've been able to move much quicker through my life, through the direction that I'm actually going. And now my outside world is immediately responding to the shifts that I'm making in my body, because this is the vessel that sends signals out to the rest of the world, right? This is the thing that, especially our heart has this really, really big magnetic power. Our aura, everything is sending out the signals for it to call back all the situations in which we need to grow, to survive, to thrive, to really actually heal, and then begin to create a reality that we want to live in, right? So that maybe we're building a project and we need help with that project. And so this body then sends the signals out to all the people that are going to help us in that project. Similarly, it's also going to send out signals to the people that are going to drive us crazy, that, you know, brings up all of our emotional issues, all of the things that have been stored, because that is the program that is currently there. So I don't know if I'm making all of the sense, but I essentially want you to understand that there is a very clear, powerful way in which we can work with not only releasing, but reprogramming. So in your own life, what is something that you are working on or working towards? What is something that you've identified as a belief or as something that's holding you back, a pattern that maybe keeps showing up day after day, week after week, month after month in your life, that you're just ready to overcome? You're ready to step into something new. Is there a place in your life where you're constantly judging yourself, or you're constantly trying to figure out like what's wrong, what you're not doing right? Like I've tried all the things, it's not working. And maybe it's time for a little bit of a reframe. Maybe it's time for you to try something new. Maybe it's time for your body to start catching up with where you are in your life. And that's the work that I have been doing myself. So I just wanted to offer that as something different, something that it's like so simple that we would just disregard it in the first place. Like, oh, I can just get myself into a weird position, breathe a few times, and then talk to my body, and then all of a sudden, boom, like everything just changed. Like, yeah, that's exactly how it works. And so when you feel the power of it and the simplicity of it, you start to ask some questions about how this whole life actually has been presenting itself. Like, how have I been overcomplicating it for so long when it can truly be this simple? Now, the other thing that I want to say about this is when you start to listen to your body, when you start to have this relationship, when you start to acknowledge what's truly here, we have to be able to take it one step further. Has this sensation or pain or tightness or whatever it is in the body, if you've gotten to know it, you've understood, okay, this is presenting itself. Let's just say, for example, it's a spot in your ribs, maybe on the right side. Maybe it's like we talked about, that anger and that resentment. Is this actually something that has been stored for years and years and years? This is energy that is deep, that is like a pattern that's truly, it's like trauma that really does need to be released. Is it that, or is it your body actually communicating that something needs to change? So it could be a pain in your back. It could be a shoulder. It could have seemingly come out of nowhere. And in my belief, there are two reasons in which that could come. One, the body is finally, like I mentioned, it's safe and relaxed enough for it to even have the capacity to communicate that there's been something off here for a long time. Or there's another option. Maybe this is something coming up because your body is sending you a signal for right now. Right now, in this moment, this is the situation, the energy that is calling you forward, that is actually saying, if you don't listen, this is what's going to happen. And it's not to like punish you or anything. It's literally just to try to communicate. There's an energy attached to your shoulder, to your ribs, to your back, whatever it is, that is actually inviting something a little bit deeper. Maybe this is the direction that you need to go. Maybe it's a signal, a message for you that's saying, if you were to start, for me it's like making YouTube videos, right? It's putting myself out there more. It's saying, oh, I am allowed to be seen, and there is some expansion that is calling me. Maybe for you it's for you to go ask your boss, say, I need a promotion and this is why I deserve it, and it's you having the power to go do so. Or maybe it's like a call to say, we should probably start changing maybe the food that we're eating or the water that we're drinking. Or, it could be a number of different things. It could be just something small that says, I'm just going to put this little spot in your body so you're going to actually pay attention and then make a change. So again, macro, micro. Is it something that's deeply seated from a long time ago, or is it just a situation that is now bringing you to the next moment in your life and the new chapter? And those are the kinds of things that I'm starting to ask myself. Those are the kind of things that I'm starting to work through. Those are the things that I'm starting to reprogram, because I have the capacity to listen to my body and what it's asking of me. And then now I also have the tools in which I can start to rewrite the story. So it's just little things like that that make your journey here that much more easy, that much more alive, that much more intuitive, right? This is our intuition. The body is the most powerful form of intuition. If we can listen to what it's saying, then essentially we can just start following it all the time. Maybe not following it as like, oh, I'm having this like small emotion that turns into ruining my whole day. Like, okay, but maybe it's something that is just a little twinge, a little pull forward towards that thing that we're so passionate about, the thing that we really want, the thing that's going to lead us to our dream life, or the person of our dreams, or the, like whatever it is. Maybe you've been asking for it for a long time and your body's like, hey, if you just do this one thing, here it is. I'll just align everything from that point forward, because that's how the universe works. It can be so simple, and I'm just going to keep hammering that in as much as I can. So if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, or anything like that, and you're looking to go a little bit further in your business, you've run into these blocks and you don't know why. Maybe it's time that you explore the body. Maybe it's time to start doing some more, I would say, inner work, but it's deeper and more simple than that, right? If you're, somebody that's in your life and you're looking for a very specific outcome, like a relationship, maybe have you tried talking to your body to let it know that it's safe to actually welcome somebody in? It's okay to receive. It's, you deserve this person to come into your life. Or maybe it's a health thing that you're just ready to actually work through, and maybe you still do need to release some of the stored energy that's in your body, but equally at the same time you can start reprogramming different signals using that heart magnetism that I spoke in one of the last episodes about, really strengthening the energy that you have to then rewrite all of the cells in your body. There are so many ways in which we can do this, and I can help you do it if you so choose to allow me to be your guide. And these are the types of things that we're doing in the Fully Human Collective. So it's exactly why I have created this community for people that want to explore something new. They want to try something that's different, that actually can work in a relatively short amount of time, something that is really, really powerful and effective, and do it with people that are just like them, just trying to actually live their purpose, their dreams, and with a body that is cooperative, that is alive and open, and just like really free. I think that's what we all want. That's what I want. I want freedom. I want freedom in my body. I want freedom in my life. I want freedom financially to go the places that I want to go, to do the things that I want to do. Like I think we're all striving for freedom. And so if you can start to identify all the areas in your life in which you're not free, there are some pretty simple things that we can do to allow your nervous system to catch up, essentially, and actually be aligned with the direction that you are pointing yourself towards. So if that resonates with you, come check out the Fully Human Collective or send me a message. We can book a call, chat a little bit. I'm always here to help as much as possible. And I'm selfishly just wanting your energy. Like I, would love to have some more amazing humans to come along the journey with me. And this is what we do, right? This is what you're doing. You're going through this very specific thing in your life, and it might be hard, it might be challenging, but eventually you are going to help other people overcome that same issue, right? This is what we were created for, to use our pain and turn it into our purpose, our passion, and just help each other live a very fulfilling life. So hope you have an amazing day. I hope that was inspiring and also informative. And even if it just opened a little door in the back of your mind, that's great too. I will see you very soon. And enjoy your week.